こ everyone. Happy New Day. Thank you very much for attending today's Kodama Sensei 50th funeral service. Today's sermon is done by Reverend Roy Yasake from Masayuki Church. I ask to get into the Reverend Masayuki Sensei. Now we begin the service.
Psalm greetings, 一同拝礼。Recitation of Tenchi Kakisuke, Prayer Book, page 6. Ichido Keirei, please bow for the main size prayer.
Ametsuchi, Masayuki, Ikigami, Konko, Daijin, Kaminos, Kaminos, Masayuki, Koto, This year marks the 50 years since the Reverend Masayuki Kodama passed away on August 24, 1973. It is astonishing that we have been 50 years. We have gathered here at this Kimo-Talk on this day, August 27, 2023, observers of his 50th year anniversary. I offer various offerings here, expressing gratitude for the profound grace received for him and praying for further spiritual blessings. He began his missionary work at the residence of Mr. Rito Inoue at 1851 Delita Street, and he became the founding mission of the Konko Mission of Honolulu. During this service, we would like to extend our sincere prayers and appreciation for the blessings Reverend Masayuki Kodama to become a spirit has enjoyed in the spiritual world that far. I sincerely hope that his lifelong endeavor to grow as a church leader, missionary activities in Hawaii, and dedicated services offered with giving sincerity are rightfully acknowledged. If there were any shortcomings or mistakes, I pray for Kami's first compassion to forgive them. May deliver his spiritual sounding project, granting him true joy and happiness. Through the bottom of our heart, I pray that he serves as a protective Ikigami spirit for the Honolulu Church, other churches in Hawaii, and the Koto family believers. We allow the Ikigami spirit of the Reverend Masayuki Kodama to further ascend into the level of divinity and continue to enjoy true joy and happiness in the spiritual world. これの教会の守りの神、児玉の家の沈めの神と時はに神沈まれた使命様に、これのホノルル教会をはじめ東の教会、ワイ各教会の行方を守り、ガラヤガラより信仰者たちの身を守り、先はお肉の御霊となす先を愛しめたまえと、ずしみ、リアマイも、勝ち込みも、勝ち込みもす。
Now, as you are.一度共に拝礼。Prayer book, page 7. Adoration prayer.
Okay, we rising
With the rising of heavens and earth. with our hands for rich and deep, living through such gifts comes great giving, happy and joyful. The meditation of humanity all rising, doesn't consume the protection of the divine parents, blessings all flowing wide. The blessings of harmony fall down to all generations. The ways of harmony and spirits and wonders beyond all astounding. Day by day, every day, earnestly and reverently, we praise the virtue of harmony. Solemn acknowledgement. 一同拝礼。Solemn greetings. 一同拝礼。Prayer book, page 12. Mitama prayer.
You are giving the gift of the land, and expression and the secret. You discharge your duties according to the form of you. You deliver the eternal. You are able from generation to generation. Why are the foundation of society, the roots of the family? You the mysterious workers of the body. You enter the Konko faith. Walk away from Daijin, respecting the word of divine power. You must great virtue for faith, and take into the world beyond, and into your descendants. Arrive to the ones, brothers perfect. We hear the hearts of the world, and all divine spirit. We beseech you for somebody, each and every one. Seek the way of the Lord, and help us to fulfill that prayer. And the glory of God, make us, guide us, and reach us. Only they are in the faith, and we honor them all generations. And we may be peace and honor, great in the of hearts. Take us, guide us, and reach us.
Ichido, can you please bow for the Messiah's prayer?
これの教会の御霊屋につき祭り沈めませ祭る。本校教ホノルル教会初代教会長児玉政行道分け真心牛の御霊の神の御前に。敬いてのりも咲く。In front of the Mitama, spirit of the founding minister of the Konko Mission of Honolulu, Reverend Masayuki Kodama, who is also dearly enshrined in this church's Mitama altar, I, Koichi Konko, the head minister of Konko Mission of Honolulu, for my heartfelt prayers. As we face your portrait, we feel overwhelmed with the thought of you. Dear Kodama Sensei, you were born on November 15, 1923, in Yoshi Town, Fukuoka Prefecture, the child of Mr. Shotaro Kodama. Your father was profoundly devout, fully under the guidance of Reverend Masaru Yasutake, the founding minister of the Konko Church of Amagi, and nurtured his faith with genuine sincerity, inheriting such faith from your father, Reverend Masayuki. You deepened your devotion at Amagi Church and served as a minister. In 1928, you traveled to Hawaii, and the following year, you established the Konko Mission of Honolulu with your wife, Reverend Kikue Kodama, on August 27, 1929, and served as its head minister. For the subsequent 44 years, you endured numerous changes and challenges such as language and cultural differences, especially the war between Japan and the U.S., during which you were sent to several internment camps and were repatriated to Japan. You were not able to return to the church right away as you were arrested after the Pearl Harbor attack. For 8.5 years, you were separated from your wife and 6 children. The youngest, Doris, was only 6 months old. After you returned to the church, you continued to dedicate your body and soul to deepening your faith and convey Caminos teaching to people. As head of the Konko Mission in Hawaii, you were also involved in church activities in Hawaii. You served as the chief administrative minister of the Konko Mission in Hawaii until your passing. Notably, for the Amagi Church, our parent church, you edited the biography of the founding minister, Reverend Masaru Yasutake, and compiled his teaching, making significant contributions. Reflecting upon such achievements and your dedicated service, I wish to remember you with deep gratitude and respect. Reverend Kodama passed away on August 24, 1973, at the age of 69. Following him, his wife, Reverend Kikue, succeeded as the second head of minister. After her passing due to illness on November 28, 1997, Reverend Masahiko Yoshino and his wife, Reverend Sugako, took over the church. Reverend Masahiko also passed away at the age of 82, after which I became the fourth head of minister. My wife, Reverend Seiko Konko, has also been serving as an associate minister. Exactly 10 years ago, Reverend Seiko and our son Michio came to Hawaii. I feel that your support as a Mitama Spirit helped to grant their immigration visa to the United States of America. They were able to move to Hawaii 10 years ago, just one day before your 40th year memorial service, and could attend that service. The Kodama family and all believers are profoundly grateful for the blessing and the support received over the years. Given the immense blessing in our church activities and our daily lives, we are confident that Reverend Kodama would be delighted to witness our joy. You have received your beloved daughters, Grace and Shikuko Sensei, as well as your grandchildren and great-grandchildren. While they may encounter difficulties, please continue to support them so they can find joy in daily life. We also request your guidance for the smooth operation of the church. Today, we have gathered to commemorate the 50-year anniversary of Reverend Masayuki Kodama. Various offerings have been made in your honor, featuring your favorite unagi or eel. We come together to rejoice and express gratitude for the blessing received over the years. We pray that you continue to watch over our church and your families. Also pray that the Konko Ohana, all ministers and all believers in Hawaii work together for prosperity from generation to generation in Hawaii and their families. Is our individual feeling the emotion in participating in today's service, wishing to convey our gratitude and deep respect. おじなき己らが使い祭る神務めを守り補い、教会のうちとに働きを助けたまい、ハワイ諸島の我が道の行く手より、ガラヤから立ちハワイ、全信奉者もろもろの家をも身をも、天かけり国かけりして、恵み先はへたまいて、御霊の御徳家を明らかに輝か渡らせたまい、おのもが持ち捧げ祭る忍びの玉串の中取りつつ、うやんまいものりもす。
Now, as you will.サインともに拝礼。Tamaguchi offering by families, attendant ministers, and congregations. So 1030法書 Prayer Book page 36. Prayer Book Supplement, page 14. Prayer to the late Reverend Masayuki and Kikué Kodama. As the founding ministers of Konko Mission of Honolulu, we thank you for demonstrating we thank you for continuing to serve your prayer and our mediator. We thank you for the constant one over anxiety. We thank you for your commitment to all of us. We ask that you please also prayer and heart on this day and every day. We ask that you continue to pray for all of us and receive our hearts in times of good and silence. For our hands to be under your prosperity. That the please with life and grace only in gratitude. For all to meet us as believers in Honolulu, Manapeke, Hilo, Mashiwa, please assist us with all your responsibilities for health and life. Please continue to support and inspire those not and the service of the church with the lives. Provide our which we feel all with the glory of the Now once again we grateful tonight and shine brightly. So much love from the Lord and the Spirit. We thank you. Solemn acknowledgement. 一同拝礼。
Good morning. Okay, now we're here for a memorial service, not a funeral. But why does it feel like one right now? If anyone should feel under pressure, it would be me. For some reason, because I was alive when Reverend Kodama was alive and actually met the man, I was asked to give a sermon today. The problem is, I was 3 years old when he passed away. And I'm sure I met him a few times. As Reverend Konko said, he gave me the name of Roy, but I really don't have any solid images or memories of him personally. So when the sensei contacted me again to remind me about giving a sermon for today's service, I was in a panic. So I started asking people. And my mother, of course, remembered Kodama Sensei. And my father had worked closely with him because originally my father had come from the Amagi Church in Japan, the same church that Kodama Sensei is from, I believe, yes? And to serve in the administrative office. Well, I'll touch upon that in a little bit. But due to what had happened on Maui, I was a bit distracted. So what I have is honestly incomplete. I could not focus on getting as much of my research about Reverend Kodama as I wanted to. But then again, as I jokingly said, this isn't a funeral but a memorial. What I'm supposed to give is not a eulogy, but, well, talk about Kodama Sensei. Now, he's one of the first generations of ministers here in Hawaii, and of course, the founder of the Konko Mission of Honolulu. And from this church, this faith spread throughout Hawaii. My own home church of Wailuku began when our Wailuku founding minister, Reverend Takio Nakai, had entered this faith and studied this faith under Kodama Sensei. Now, she was a single mother with, I believe it was 5 children. And you can imagine how hard it would be in this day and age. Now, imagine that about 60 plus years ago. But through Kodama Sensei's example, she deepened her faith. And Kodama Sensei then said, Nakai-san, go to Maui and propagate. You can imagine she was reluctant at first, but again, because of Kodama Sensei's singular and strong faith, and it rubbed off on her too, I would believe, and so she came to Maui. Those of you who were able to join us for our 60+1 anniversary earlier this year, you know, Kodama Sensei's influence helped us make it to today. Now, as I began to say, my father had originally come to Hawaii to help Reverend Masayuki Kodama in the administrative office. Now, the plan was for my father to gain training and perhaps some wisdom by working with Reverend Kodama. But then, he was supposed to return to Amagi, marry his fiancée, Hisayo Chigusa, and serve somewhere in Japan. Well, that didn't go as planned. Reverend Nakai, who had diabetes, got worse and worse. Some of the surviving photographs we have of her in one of her last services, she had a lot of trouble seeing already due to diabetes. So one of our oldest members, she has also passed on, but Mrs. Elsie Miyamoto in the photo is guiding her so she can offer a tamakushi, as we saw Reverend Konko do as part of the service. For a time, Reverend Katsuo Yasutake, my uncle, served at the Wailuku Church, but it didn't seem to be a good fit. And at this rate, you know, Wailuku was in danger of closing. Reverend Nakai didn't have any assistant ministers or heirs at Wailuku. And, well, Reverend Kodama loathed the idea of simply giving up. And I'm sure he also felt personally invested because it was one of his students that opened the Wailuku Church. But what to do? No, I'm sure Reverend Kodama prayed long and hard, seeking Kami-sama's advice and a miracle, perhaps. And, well, who would happen to be there at Honolulu on assignment from Japan? A young 20-something Kiyotaka Yasutake. Now, my dad's English was not the greatest. He was very much a Fukuoka boy. But again, I like to think because of Reverend Kodama's strong influence and the strong example he showed in the way he lived his faith life, I'm sure my father felt that I want to emulate this man. He's my mentor. And so he agreed, and needless to say, the rest is history. Now, when I was born, my father asked his mentor, Reverend Masayuki Kodama, to give me an English name. Now, the fact that Dad asked Reverend Kodama, who's not a blood relation of ours, to choose a name for his firstborn, first of all, yeah, and firstborn son, those of us who are aware of Japanese culture, that's a big deal. So that tells me just how much respect and how much he really admired Reverend Kodama. And so I was given the name of Roy. Then again, it's also just as likely that Reverend Kodama, with his strong personality, volunteered to name my father's firstborn and wouldn't take no for an answer. Either one seems plausible, but the one I've been told ever since I was a child that Dad asked Kodama Sensei for the name. Now, from stories I've heard from longtime members of Honolulu, Reverend Kodama could be described as intense. I get the impression of a strict, very focused, and very unwavering faith. Also, he was very studied, and due to his vast knowledge and understanding, and the depth of that understanding of Konkokyo, I can imagine his sermons and teachings were on a completely other level beyond any we experience today in Hawaii. Now, next to this man, I feel literally like that 3-year-old child, a small child, barely able to stand, let alone walk, in the presence of someone like this incredible Ujiko, Masayuki Kodama. If a new Konko-sama had been born in our time, I think this would have been him. This is, again, just from all the stories I had heard. Now, I didn't write it down, but my mother did share a story. See, I'm building up this image, for those of you who have never actually met the man, of a strict, doesn't smile, intense kind of person. But apparently he had a unique sense of humor, too. And of the senses of that time, like Okuno Sensei, for example, Sonoda Sensei, Takahashi Sensei, not very many of them could get his jokes. But my dad did. And according to what my mother told me, my father reported that he didn't think that was such a good thing. To this day, there's going to be a little bit of a puzzle to try and work out why the person who made a joke that you intend for people to laugh, the one person who got it and laughed, he was kind of, Any ideas? But I feel like if I can answer that, unravel that, that'll give me an even better idea of this man. He's becoming more and more mysterious the more I learn about him. Because, as I said, so many stories of how strict and how focused. And his faith, there's just no question. Kami-sama's way or the highway kind of a guy. And because of that faith, we know of all of his accomplishments. If not, please read this. There's the other book in the back. But because of everything that happened, I had intended to perhaps maybe borrow a couple of the teachings listed in here as part of the sermon, but I literally ran out of time. Honestly, I was very close to declining today because of everything going on. But when I remembered, this is Kodama Sensei we're talking about. Never mind just my name. Never mind the fact that my family, Wailuku, exists here in Hawaii because he asked, the guy happened to be around in the administrative office if he could help out and take care of Wailuku Church. To say that my family has a unique bond with the Kodama family is putting it mildly, I think. And because at least I know that much. When Konko Sensei announced as part of the yearly activities each of the churches are having that today would be the 50th year memorial anniversary for the founder of the Konko Mission of Honolulu. I think I actually volunteered, originally. Kind of, yeah. That's right. I wanted to attend the service. I didn't say anything of a sermon. But actually, this was a great opportunity for me. Not as a distraction from what's going on. No, far from it. From what I was able to absorb. And it's kind of hard as it is because these teachings have such a depth in them. But like the one about our goal in Konkokyo is to be like Konko-sama. He goes a little bit further into that. Not just saying, be like Konko-sama. About how we should always feel grateful no matter what happens. And I think that is the one that I will borrow today. This was, which one is this now? I think it's on page 29, Perceiving a Grateful Universe, I think it is. In this one, he had mentioned about a Konko believer should give thanks even when resting and sitting on a tree stump. But that alone isn't what I'd like to point out. But there's a list, 1 through 12, that he puts on this page. I believe this is the one. Is this the one? I think I'm on the wrong page, aren't I? Konko Sensei, help me out here, please. Which one was it? There was... Darn it. No, there was something more to this. Great. So this is what happens when you let yourself be distracted by things. If I had the mind and heart of Reverend Kodama, I'm sure that even if I was in the middle of that fire, I could do my duty. Well, I don't want to waste your time, but find it for yourself and you'll see what I mean, I hope. But, no matter what you get faced with, to always have that grateful heart. Kodama Sensei was sent to an intern camp and been sent off to Japan for how many years? 2 years, was it, I believe? In court to the brief history, 2 years. 8.5 years, okay. Now, how many men here are married? Oh, come on, I know there's more hands than that. How about were married then? Will that help? Okay, so children? Okay, now, when you were married with kids, and you had to suddenly, for 8.5 years, could you handle it? I can't even imagine doing that for 1 year. And you've got to remember, how many children was it total again? 6 children. And Reverend Chikue, his wife, who on top of that had to mind the family business, if you will, the Konko Mission of Honolulu. And And the Konko Mission of Honolulu stands above a lot of the other churches, so they have to help with those other churches as well. You know, without the kind of faith that this man had, I couldn't see how that would be possible without something going on, without changing the person for the worse. So what am I really trying to say here today? The more I learn about this man, the more I want to learn, and like my father, do my way, in my own way, emulate Reverend Masayuki Kodama. Because of all the different examples you can point to in life, this would be a very good one for faith life. I really wish I could have remembered more, but there's not a whole lot that I could do 50 years ago. My goodness, I'm that old already, yeah? But I should be so lucky when I'm gone to be remembered even half as well as this person here. Thank you, everyone, for coming today, sharing your prayers, all those good feelings, sending it to Reverend Masayuki Kodama on his 50th memorial anniversary. ありがとうございました。Thank you very much, President. Okay. So please, if you don't, please take the booklet we made. And also, I have this. It's in memory of the late Reverend Masayuki Kodama in Japan in the Honolulu no Shito. So this was made for his 10th year memorial service. 1988, so 15 ka na? 15 years. So please feel free to take this one too. So before closing, let's sing two songs today. Yo-Yo no Way, our page 69, and also Shining Shimmering Light.
Please raise if you're able. Thank you. Shining shimmering light, back of the prayer supplement. Give it, please. Thank you.
Flowing from a path that never ends.
Before closing and grace before meal, I'd like to call grace.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Grace Kodama. On behalf of the Konko, of the Konkokyo Kodama family, we would like to thank the head officiant and his associate officiant for participating in this morning's 50th year memorial service for my father, the late Reverend Masayuki Kodama. Thank you to Reverend Koichi Konko of Honolulu Church, Reverend Akinobu Yasutake of Waipahu Church, Reverend Yasuhiro Yano of Waihewa Church, and Reverend Roy Yasutake of Wailuku Church. Also, a big thank you for other ministers present today. Reverend Tetsuro Yasutake, Reverend Reiko Yano, Reverend Edna Matsuoka and her husband Clayton, and of course, a big mahalo and aloha to church members of this congregation. I really appreciate your kind and thoughtful presence at this memorial service. Please join us at the second floor social hall for some refreshments. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. So now let us recite Tenchi Kakitsuke closing prayer for closing. Although we have omiki before going upstairs, and also the grace before meal. Recitation of Tenchi Kakitsuke, page 6. Ikigami Konko Daijin, Tenchi Kane no Kami Isshin ni Negae, Wage wa waga kokoro ni ari, Kongetsu konnichi de tanomei. Pray sincerely with all your heart, be one with the Kami. Kami is the blessing to begin within. Hearts grateful and caring, in harmony and joy. Look to Kami always, now and forever, on this very day. Pray. Closing prayer, page 15. Dear Divine Parent of the universe, we are deeply grateful for the way mediation. We offer heartfelt gratitude for divine blessings, matter and spiritual, temporal and eternal. We pray the divine favor be granted to and all, each and every day. A prayer book supplement, page 15, Grace Before Meals. Ikigami Konko Daijin sama, Tenchi Kane no Kami sama. Thank you for the food before me that I'm about to partake. Thank you for the hand that prepared this food. Thank you for the life that was used in order to sustain my life. Please allow this food to nourish me spiritually, physically, and mentally. Ikigami Konko Daijin sama, Tenchi Kane no Kami sama. I humbly and respectfully accept your eternal grace.